Hey everybody, welcome back to The Approved Cooking. Now if you're looking around and seeing a different kitchen, that's because I'm up north this weekend visiting my parents, bringing our new little baby boy up so that they can meet them. So this is my mom. Mom, say hey to YouTube.
Hey!
So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to make the Larry's Burger. Now my family owned a roadside restaurant up in our hometown for 30-ish?
2 years.
32 years. And it was in, a little small roadside restaurant, bar, and hotel. And you know what? It was great. It was nothing special.
It was a roadhouse.
It was a roadhouse, yeah. Nothing special, but it was it was our home, right? And we loved it there. And one of the burgers that they served there was called the Larry's Burger, because the restaurant was called Larry's Tavern. Now, what this burger was, it was a charbroiled burger, and instead of bacon, they would take thin slices of ham, grill that on, and put that on instead. And it was amazing, like a customer favorite. Now, I don't have a charbroiler, but I have a barbecue, and that's a pretty close comparison. Not exactly, but close enough. So I'm going to show you how to make my family's restaurant's burger, the Larry's Burger, today. I'm pretty pumped to recreate this. And I'm also going to show you how to make a pretty easy brioche bun. If you're going to make a burger, you might as well make yourself a bun as well. Of course the phone rings. Hold on, you can edit that out.
So without further ado,
let's get into
it.
Okay, so let's start off by making these brioche buns. Now what you're going to find in this video is that it's pretty much a comedy of errors. My parents get in the way a little bit here and there, and they don't have all the necessary tools that I'm used to using. But with that in mind, they did have a stand mixer, which is going to make this job way easier to make these buns. So let's start off with a cup of warm water. As you can see, my bum's getting in the way of the shot. So start off with a cup of warm water. I had mine heated to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And add in 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, mix that in with the water, and set that aside and let it rest for about 10 minutes. And then into the bowl of your stand mixer, pour in 3.5 cups of bread flour. Then you'll want to add in 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. As you can see, I'm using this little egg cup because my parents don't have the little glass bowls that I use in my normal videos. And then you're going to go get yourself your sugar container, in this case a very nice decorative duck one, and put in 2 tablespoons of sugar into the bowl of your stand mixer as well. Set aside the decorative duck sugar container and attach the dough hook to your stand mixer, and mix this together on a medium speed for about a minute until everything is combined. From there, you're going to want to add in your water and yeast mixture into the bowl, and then get yourself 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melt it, and pour it into the bowl of your stand mixer. And then get yourself 3 tablespoons of whole milk, and surprise, surprise, pour it into the stand mixer as well. Then go get yourself a large egg, crack it into a cup or a bowl, mix it together, and then would it shock you if I told you pour it into the stand mixer bowl. Drop the head of your stand mixer with the dough hook attachment, and mix this all together for about 5 to 7 minutes until it becomes good and incorporated and makes a nice, smooth but tacky dough like this. Now it is pretty hydrated, like we did put a lot of liquids in there, but that's not a problem. That's what we're looking for, like a consistency like that, as you can see. So once that's done, go get yourself a separate bowl, get some olive oil, and pour some into the bottom of it, because like every dough that we've ever made, we're going to pour this dough into the other bowl and break a spatula in the process. Man, literally nothing can go right here. I have had terrible luck with spatulas lately. So anyways, put the dough into that separate bowl, and then what you're going to do from there is give it a little swirl around like I'm doing here, and then cover it with plastic wrap. Now stick this in a warm, dry place and let it rise for about 2 hours or until doubled in size. I usually will put it in my oven during that time. So after about 2 hours, it comes out looking like that. As you can see, it has doubled in size, so give it a little punch to deflate it, and there we go. Look at that. Now what we're going to want to do is flour our work surface and then turn the dough out onto it. Now we're going to gently knead this just a little bit, like not too much, but we're going to want to smooth it out and flatten it out until it's a nice rectangle shape, because we're going to cut this into the dough balls to make the buns. Now this recipe that I'm showing you is good for 8 buns, so cut it in half, the dough that is, and then cut each half into 4 pieces. Go get yourself a baking sheet like I have here. Cover it with some all-purpose flour, because we're going to proof this for the next half an hour, and just start rolling the pieces of dough in your hand, forming a ball. What you'll want to do is just press down on it into the center of your palm until it starts to form a ball, like I am doing here. As you can see, it's not too hard, but then once it is formed into a ball, you just put it on top of the dough on the baking sheet, and then there you go. Look at that. You have formed perfect, nice little dough balls that are going to make great buns. So cover with plastic wrap again, and then stick in a warm, dry spot again for about another half an hour until they've doubled in size, like this. Now, as you can see, the one on the back corner is a little bit smaller, so I didn't make them exactly perfect, but that doesn't really matter. This is going to still work out. What you're going to want to do now is preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and bake these for about 15 minutes, turning them halfway through until they come out nice and puffy and golden brown, just like this. Oh my God, look how good those look. Now these are almost done, but we're not quite done. What we're going to do is brush these with some melted butter. Now, I told you my parents don't have a lot of the same equipment that I use. As you can see, I have to use this big barbecue brush in order to brush them down. They didn't have a small one. So anyways, get yourself some salted butter this time, melt it, and then brush all of these buns with the salted butter to give these a nice, shiny, and rich, buttery taste to them. Now, while those are cooling down, let's talk about the burgers I'm actually going to be making. So here they are. I formed some patties off camera. I used 80-20 ground chuck, and I made 6-ounce patties. Now what we're going to do is cook them on the barbecue, and we're also going to use a little bit of black forest ham. As you can see here, I had it pre-sliced, and that's going to substitute for bacon on the barbecue. So let's head outside and start cooking this up. So my parents use a propane barbecue, and as you can see, it started raining because nothing could go right when filming this episode. So preheat your barbecue and then just slap the patties down on top. Now you're going to want to cook these for anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes until they have an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Some people prefer them a little bit more rare. My parents prefer them to be cooked all the way through, so I had to cook them to 165 degrees internal temperature. So flip them halfway through. You should have some nice char lines on them, just like that. I tell you, these smell perfect already. Now what my parents did, instead of putting salt and pepper on the burgers, they used Montreal steak spice. And let me tell you, it is one hell of a flavor for a burger. So put Montreal steak spice on all of your burgers, and then again, just keep cooking them on the barbecue until they are cooked through. And then it's time to start putting some cheese on them when they are cooked. Now you can use American cheese if you want, but at the restaurant they used actual sliced cheddar, so that's what I'm going to do here today. I fought them on that. I wanted to use American cheese, but my parents said in order to make this accurate, you have to use sliced cheddar. Now while the cheese is melting, let's cook up our ham. So throw the sliced black forest ham on top of the barbecue, and it only takes about a minute per side, not even to crisp it up nicely. So throw it all on, and now let's go in and assemble this burger. Here's one of the brioche buns. I toasted it a little bit for some color and crunch. There's a nice patty, put it on top of the bun, nice melty cheese, and then 2 pieces of grilled black forest ham. Look at that. Now add on some white onion, a little bit of dill pickles, there we go, and then add on a little yellow mustard. Perfect. And then last but not least, some ketchup. A little bit of that as well. Drop the bun on top, and let's give you a close-up of my parents' Larry's Burger. This is what they would serve in the restaurant back in the day. And let me tell you, people loved it, man. People ordered it all the time. So let's go in for a taste test. I haven't had one of these since '09 when my parents sold the restaurant. And let me tell you, man, that is good. That is really good. It brings me back, I gotta say. That is quite tasty. Like I said, I haven't had one of these in over a decade, but they are good. You know what? Let's get my mom in here. Let's cut her off a piece. Here you go. All right, Mom, come in and try this out. Let me see what you think. All right, so as a side note, my mom cannot be here for voiceover because they live 4 hours away. But let me tell you, she really enjoyed it as well. she said it was pretty much the exact replica of what they made at their restaurant, and she absolutely loved it. And you know what? I loved it too. This was a lot of fun to make. It was really nostalgic, and it was fun to recreate something that so many people loved back at my parents' restaurant and, you know, where I grew up. But anyways, that's the end of the episode. If you like what you saw here today, why don't you drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching Eat Proof Cooking. We'll see you again soon.